Behind the walls of this Accrington adobe lives Britain's greatest comedy mastermind. In this shocking series of interviews, we meet the man behind the mask. The man who some say was the star of the Roswell Field footage. The man whose charity show for the Liverpool police was condemned by Derek Hatton and the subject of TV's World in Action. The man condemned in Parliament by John Major, yet greeted and congratulated by the Queen of England. A man to middle-of-the-road comedy what W.C. Fields and Harold Wilson were to hang gliding. Only you can decide in this shocking compilation of the worst of Bernard Manning, On the Job, in performance and in widescreen interview confessions. Together, we fish for the facts. Bernard Manning, one of the most controversial comedians in the United Kingdom. Most recently on the front pages of newspapers, his scandalous act for the British police. A controversial man. Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
Absolutely not.
What do you think of Pakistanis?
Well, I couldn't eat a whole one. Yeah, I've got a Pakistani lives next door to me. And he says to me the other day, I'm a better man than you. I said, I never said you fucking wasn't. What makes you think you're a better man than me? He says, I've not got a fucking Paki living next door to me. So, you know, they're jokes. You must never take them serious. The Pakistani that lives next door to me, he's a doctor, and he's a very clever man, and we're good friends. He wouldn't take offence at that. He'd laugh his bollocks. These two Irish fellas used to knock about with this Paki, and the Paki got knocked down, killed stone dead. The copper said, what was his name? He said, we never knew his name, sir. Just used to booze them, you know. He said, where did he live? He says, we knew fuck all about the man, he said. The only thing we knew about him, he had two arseholes. He said, how do you mean? He said, every pub we went in, they used to say, here's that Paki with them two arseholes. What about the Irish fella went to a Ku Klux Klan fancy dress ball as Al Jolson? Them Irish are unbelievable, aren't they? Fella going back to Ireland, an Irishman going back to Ireland, that's a fucking change, isn't it? Got in this taxi at Liverpool, and the taxi driver says, it's a long journey to the airport. He said, we'll have a few riddles. He looked in the mirror, he said, brothers and sisters, have I none, but that man's father is my father's son. Who is it? The Irish fella said, I don't know. He said, it's me, innit? Fuck me, he said, you're right. He got back to Ireland, he says to his father, I'll give you a bit of a riddle, he said. Looked in the mirror, he said, brothers and sisters, have I known, but that man's father is my father's son. Who is it? His father said, how the fuck do I know? He said, you ignorant cunt. He's a taxi driver in Liverpool. What about the Irish Working Men's Club went on a mystery tour and they had a suite to guess where they was going. And the fucking driver won 68 quid. Irish family watching television, the old fella said, Bridget, 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 close your legs. The K-I-D-S can see your cunt. Irish fella on the top of this blazing building. The fireman shout, jump in the blanket, Paddy, jump in the blanket. Not fucking likely, he said. You English, you hate the fucking sight of us, he says. I'm jumping in no blanket. I'll jump, you pull the blanket away, he said. Put the blanket on the floor, then I'll fucking jump, he said. It's a pity they can't solve the problems in Ireland, you know, because they're funny nation, no doubt about that. I don't know what they fucking find about, they're all white. What are they scrapping about? What they want is a million packies rubbing around in the middle of Belfast, you know, they got fucking problems then, all right. We've got the fucking lot here. Azerbaijanis are coming now, what the fuck do they sell? I never heard of such fucking people. Two Irish fellas walking through the Vatican once said, you see that fella over there with the crooked stick and the mitre cap? I think that's the Pope. I said, I don't think it is. He says, I'm sure it is. So I'll go and ask him. He went up, he says, are you the Pope? He says, fuck up. He went back, he said, what did he say? He said, he wouldn't commit himself. Irish fellow went for a job on a building site. He said, what's your name? He says, Paddy Mulligan. He says, how do you spell it? He says, stick the job up your arse. Fucking unbelievable. There's two Jews walking through Glasgow and a big gang of these skinheads come walking towards him. He said, look at these bastards here, Morris, we're going to get mugged here. He said, I think we are. I said, I'm fucking sure we are. Anyways, here's that 600 quid I owe you. Two Jews talking once said, what would you do if you won the pool time? He said, I won £1 million, I'd give you half, you're my best friend. He said, what about if you had 2 houses? If I had 2 houses, I'd give you a house, you're my friend. He said, what about if you had 2 cars? If I had 2 cars, I'd give you a car. He said, what about if you had 2 chickens? He says, now, fuck off, you know I've got 2 chickens. The best Jewish gag ever. Because with Jewish humour, you know, you get the punchline right at the very last second. This one's a fucking masterpiece. Little Jewish fellow in the synagogue praying, Lord, he says, help me, please. You're a Jew, I'm a Jew, help me. I don't know which way to fucking turn, he said. I'm up to my neck in debt, he said, I owe every bastard. Please, Lord, let me win the sweepstake. I've got to win that sweepstake, Lord. Everybody gets paid if I win the sweepstake. A week went past, fuck all. He's there again next Saturday morning. Lord, he says, are you fucking listening to me? Please, I've got to win the sweepstake, Lord. Let me win the sweepstake, please. Another week went past. Not a fucking light. He's there again next Saturday morning. He's on his knees now. Get a Jew on his knees, you can black fucking sawdust. Lord, he says, help me, please, you lousy bastard. Let me win the fucking sweepstake. Fuck's sake, he said. Come here 3 times now, he said. I've got to win that fucking sweepstake, he says. Please. And the clouds parted. And a voice said, aye me. Meet me halfway. Buy a fucking ticket. Two Jews about to be shot by the Gestapo, Avi and Ivy. Stood there. Any last request before you're shot? He said, can we stand behind the wall? He said, you cannot stand behind the wall. Stand still. And Avi stepped forward. He said, you dirty German bastard. Fuck you and Adolf Hitler. Ivy says, don't cause trouble. The Germans are bashing, they don't know, that film Holocaust, release it in Germany, got the good old days. English fella lived next door to this pack. He had a goose, he laid egg in his garden, he went round. He said, I've come for me goose egg. He said, me goose, he's laid egg. He said, oh, no. No, the egg belongs to me, he said. The egg is on my land, the egg belongs to me. That is Indian law. He says, give us that fucking egg. He said, I'm telling you, the egg is on my land, the egg belongs to me. That is Indian law. He said, we'll never mind Indian law, we'll have English law just for a fucking change. I kick you in the bollocks, you kick me in the bollocks, the one that gives up first owns the egg. As long as that's the law, he said. Oh, and he gave me a right kick in the bollocks. He said, oh, fucking hell, he said. Oh, that fucking smart start, he said. But it's my turn now. He says, keep the fucking egg. This Paddy went to this bank. He said, I want to cash a cheque, please. He said, oh, quite all right. So I said, sign the back. No, he said, I don't want to sign the back. I want to sign the front like the white men do. He said, sign the fucking back. He said, I want to sign the front like the white men do. He said, well, you've got to sign the back. I'll go in the bank across the road, he said. Stormed down. Went in this bank across the road, he said, I want to catch a cheque, please. He said, sign the back. He said, I want to sign the front like the white men do. I said, don't fuck me about, pal. Sign the fucking back. He said, I want to sign the front like the white men do. Pull him over the fucking counter. He said, sign the fucking back. Get it fucking signed. He signed the back, he gave him the money. Went to the bank next day, the first bank he went to, he says, I got that cash for that check. He said, you signed the back? He said, I did. He said, I told you you'd have to. He said, yes, but you didn't explain like the gentleman across the road. This packy went up to heaven there, St. Peter come to the door. He said, yes, what do you want? He says, Randy Sims from Rochdale. And St. Peter shouted in, anybody order a fucking taxi? This Indian went up to heaven, he said, I'd like to come in. St. Peter said, well, it's only for Christians, this place, my old son. He said, well, I give £2,000 to the Christian Aid Society last week. Hang on a bit, he said, I'll go see the boss. He come back, he said, here's your £2,000 now, fuck off. This Negro went to in Birmingham, Alabama, he says, to vote, like, you know, and this big state trooper said, what do you want? He says, I've come to vote. He said, there's no Negroes voting today. He said, I can read and I can write, so I've come to vote.